take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you. I would say that to my wife. And then the second I looked in that baby's eyes, I knew.
Looks like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' picture-perfect marriage might not be all that perfect after all, and fans are starting to see the cracks. With everything that's come to light, people are now questioning whether they're headed for a split. And trust me, babe, once you see these receipts, it's no wonder why people are side-eyeing this whole situation. But hold up, things are getting even messier for Taylor Swift because of her deep involvement in this Blake Lively drama. And let's just say, taking a break from their friendship isn't gonna save her this time. The way she was allegedly plotting with Blake just because she was lonely, single, and bored. Woo! LL won't believe how deep this goes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now for context, Ryan and Blake have always been known for their playful roasting, right? But lately, it's starting to feel less like love and more like low-key resentment. Fans are really starting to analyze Ryan's humor, and let's just say, it's not sitting right with a lot of people. The constant jokes at Blake's expense, the subtle digs masked as sarcasm, people are now wondering if this is really just harmless couples banter or something deeper. Blake and Ryan used to be seen as Hollywood's golden couple, funny, charming, and seemingly unbreakable. Their social media interactions were hilarious, and the way they trolled each other was iconic. But looking back, people are realizing that a lot of Ryan's so-called jokes actually make Blake the punchline instead of his partner. And honestly, when does just joking cross the line into straight-up disrespect? One particular clip is making the rounds again, where Ryan jokingly said he'd use Blake as a human shield if they were ever under attack. YAHLHL. He literally said on national television that he'd throw his own wife in the line of fire to protect their kid. Of course, people laughed it off at the time, but looking back, it's giving weird energy. Like, why was that even a joke? And that's not the only thing. Ryan has this ongoing pattern of downplaying Blake in public, especially on her birthday. Instead of a sweet, romantic post like any normal husband, he once tweeted, "Just wanted to wish Billy Ray Cyrus the most special, magical birthday ever. I love you with all my heart. Also, happy birthday, Blake. YALL. This was on Blake's actual birthday. Like, sir, be so serious right now. Naturally, social media dragged him for this, and honestly, rightfully so. But here's where things get even messier. People are putting two and two together and noticing that Ryan might have a history of wanting to be the bigger star in his relationships. Remember when he was married to Scarlett Johansson? Well, sources claim he hated that she was just as successful as him. And now with Blake, it's like he wants to be the funny, cool one while she just exists. And let's not forget the Justin Baldoni situation. This legal battle therein has fans wondering if there was already underlying tension in Blake and Ryan's marriage. Word on the street is that Ryan threw a tantrum because, according to him, Blake and Justin got too close while working together, and he hated it, especially since he was away filming Deadpool and Wolverine.
That moment that if we were ever under attack, I would use my wife as a human shield to protect that baby.
At the end of the day, whether these two are actually headed for a split or just dealing with some serious tension, one thing is clear: this dynamic is not looking like couple goals anymore. And if fans are picking up on all of this, you already know something's up behind the scenes. And now, let's talk about how Taylor Swift just got dragged into this mess. Not only is Blake's former bestie in the middle of Baldoni's lawsuit, but Taylor herself just had to announce that she's stepping back from their friendship. Why? Because her name got way too tied up in the whole it ends with this legal saga, all the way to court. Looks like Taylor Swift can't play the innocent bystander card anymore, babe. The receipts are out, and it turns out she's been a major player in this whole mess from the very beginning. And now that the heat is on, she's scrambling to play the victim. Let's get into the facts, because the way she allegedly played into this whole takedown, clearly, she and the Reynolds family underestimated Justin Baldoni. Now, first off, let's talk about this little friendship circle because, babe, the way they've been moving is suspicious. Swifties know that Taylor kept her love life super private, literally moving like a ghost until April 2023. But then, out of nowhere, after breaking up with Joe Alwyn, After 5 whole years of laying low, she's suddenly everywhere. And guess who was right there with her? Blake and Ryan. Stay with me, babe, because this is all gonna make sense real soon. See, Taylor's big post-breakup rebrand just so happened to line up with what we now know was the beginning of a serious smear campaign against Baldoni. And if you think this was just coincidence, think again. Now, let's get into the real power play here. Taylor Swift isn't just some celebrity floating through Hollywood. She is a media powerhouse. The kind of influence she holds, it's on a different level. Industry insiders have whispered for years about how much control she has over media narratives. Babe, Taylor can push a story when she wants it pushed, or make something disappear like it never even happened. And let's not forget, when the New York Times dropped that hit piece on Baldoni, that was a risky move. A move that wouldn't have made sense unless someone with real power was backing it. And as much as Ryan Reynolds is Hollywood's golden boy, he doesn't have that kind of pull over major publishers. So who does? Who has the connections, the media weight, and the influence to make sure Baldoni got buried? Babe, all signs point to Taylor. Now, whether she was directly involved or just gave the green light and sat back while watching the chaos unfold, one thing is clear: Taylor was not some innocent bystander in all this. And now that the heat is turning up, she's running damage control, making sure her hands look clean while Blake and Ryan take the fall. Classic move, and the craziest part, it's working. The same media machine she controls is now bending over backwards to make sure she doesn't get dragged into it. But babe, we see the breadcrumbs, and they all lead right back to Taylor's doorstep. And if you thought this mess couldn't get any messier, buckle up, because we are now in full-blown scandal mode. Now, let's rewind for a second. Blake and Ryan didn't just throw some shady little digs here and there. No, babe, they went all in on Justin Baldoni. And here's why people are convinced Taylor was in on it. See, Taylor Swift is famous for leaving hidden messages, clues, and references in her project's little inside jokes for her fans to decode. She's done it before, like when she gave Joe Alwyn a fake name in her song credits, making fans play detective. So now, people are revisiting some of her recent work, and babe, the clues are there. Was she subtly hinting at this entire smear campaign the whole time? Was she dropping Easter eggs about what was going on behind the scenes? The streets are talking, and honestly, it's not looking good for Taylor. People have noticed that Taylor's little friendship circle has been moving in a suspicious way. Swifties know that Taylor kept her love life extremely private for years, moving like a ghost until April 2023. That's when things started getting sketchy following her breakup with Joe Alwyn after 5 years of keeping a low profile. Then, suddenly, the breakup happens, and Taylor is everywhere. And guess who's right there with her? Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Stay with me, this will all make sense shortly. This sudden rebranding moment after the breakup was suspiciously timed with what we now know was the beginning of a serious smear campaign. Behind the scenes, things were already being set in motion against Baldoni. Taylor Swift is not just some celebrity floating through life, she's a media powerhouse. The level of influence she has is on a completely different scale. Industry insiders have whispered for years about how much control she really has over media narratives. If Taylor wants a story pushed, it gets pushed. If she wants something silenced, it disappears. Let's not forget that the New York Times took a huge risk by publishing a hit piece on Baldoni. That kind of move wouldn't make sense unless someone with real influence was backing it. As much as Ryan Reynolds is a Hollywood darling, he does not have that level of power to dictate what major publishers do. The way this all lined up points to one conclusion: Taylor was involved, whether directly or indirectly. Maybe she pulled the strings behind the scenes. Maybe she simply gave the green light, or maybe she sat back and let it unfold while enjoying the show. But innocent? That's a stretch. Now that things are getting heated, Taylor is busy running damage control, making sure her hands look clean while Blake and Ryan take the fall. Classic move. And the craziest part, it's working. The same media she controls is now doing backflips to ensure she doesn't get dragged into the mess. But people are starting to connect the dots, and all the breadcrumbs lead back to Taylor. If you thought this situation couldn't get any messier, buckle up, because we are now in full-blown scandal mode. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't just throw a couple of shady comments here and there, they went all in on Justin Baldoni. And here's why people are convinced Taylor was in on it. Taylor Swift is well known for sneaking hidden messages, Easter eggs, and inside jokes into her projects for fans to uncover. She loves to drop little references in music videos, lyrics, and even album credits. A prime example is when she gave Joe Alwyn a fake name in her song credits, making fans play detective. What are the odds that Blake and Ryan pulled the exact same move in the "It Ends With Us" credits just by coincidence? If you look at the names Blake Lively gave special thanks to, you'll notice one that stands out: Gordon Reynolds. Now, who is Gordon Reynolds? Exactly. That name means nothing until you check the Deadpool credits, where they used the same alias for a character named Nicepool. If you're lost, here's the breakdown. Nicepool is a controversial character in Deadpool who many believe was designed to mock Justin Baldoni. Sources say that while the character was technically created before Blake and Justin's fallout, the actual scenes involving Nicepool were filmed late in the game, after the SHAHGA-HFHT-HRHA strike ended in November 2023. In other words, they had plenty of time to intentionally add elements that would shade Baldoni. They literally used his own movie to mock him. This level of pettiness is Olympic tier. And this all went down when Blake, Ryan, and Justin were still hanging out a lot, but tensions between Blake and Justin were at an all-time high. Given Taylor's love for hidden messages and Easter eggs, it makes sense why people strongly believe she may have suggested this her signature technique to take jabs at Baldoni. That's how Gordon Reynolds ended up in the "It Ends With Us" credits. Adding to the mess, Taylor also hyped up Deadpool and Wolverine like it was her own project. On Instagram, she went all out about how much effort Ryan put into the film, calling it a joy portal and more. Meanwhile, this is the same film where her best friends were sneaking in hidden jabs at Justin. The whole situation is giving Mean Girl energy, and it's clear that Blake and Taylor got way too caught up in their own world and forgot that real life has real consequences. At this point, no one can pretend that Taylor Swift is some innocent bystander in this situation. She knows exactly how to navigate the industry, and this situation is no different. Swifties can believe the carefully crafted headlines all they want, but the real ones see through it. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Justin Baldoni isn't just taking this lightly, and now there is an official court date: March 2026. That means this case is far from over. Over the next year, this entire situation is going to be legally dissected. Many believe that Blake will try to settle, because with the kind of compromising footage and receipts that are out there, this is looking like an open and shut case. But until then, this is just the beginning. We are only scratching the surface, and more details will continue to unfold. What do you all think? Did Ryan and Blake take things too far? Has the backlash against Blake been justified, or are people just overreacting? And do you think Taylor will ever be held accountable for her role in all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll be keeping you posted on every single update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.